from Daryl to the old crank at the Daily Wire. That is one of my titles, yes. A while back on your show, I thank Vanity Fair for that. A while back on your show, you mentioned that you were not happy with how one missed call ended up compared with your original draft. How much was changed and why? Side note, I bought the DVD for my brother a few years ago and immediately rushed to check if it was really you who wrote the screenplay. Love the show. God bless. You know, what's interesting about the screenplay is it wasn't changed all that much. It was just the vision and the way it was shot. The problem for me with One Missed Call, which did very well, by the way, it was actually a hit and made a lot of money, but it got such terrible, terrible reviews. As I say, I think it's got a 0% still on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel is underrating it a little bit. But what happened was everybody made a different movie. So I wrote this kind of snarky, witty, Scream-like horror movie because I knew we were at the end of Japanese horror. It was J-horror. And I knew we were at the end of that cycle. And this was kind of going to be the last really real one of them. So I was kind of making fun of it a little bit. And the guy who directed it, lovely guy, but a French guy who wanted to make horror art. And so he took it very seriously, very seriously. And he brought in these kind of indie actors, these festival actors, and they took everything very seriously. So you can, if you watch this film closely, you will see lines that are meant to be delivered for a laugh, delivered with incredible, intense seriousness. At one point, I was only there during the filming for the first week of rehearsal, and at one point, I would never get between a director and his actors, but I couldn't help myself because I could see the director didn't understand the English well enough to know where the jokes were. And I remember sidling up to one of the actors and saying, that line is supposed to be funny, and she was like, oh, So they just didn't make the movie as it was written and didn't understand the movie. And then the producers, quite rightly, wanted to recoup their investment, and they cut the film to appeal to like 15-year-old kids. And so that was a different cut. And so it was all these people kind of going off in different directions. The producers did get a success out of it, and that was good for it. But I think they were kind of embarrassed by the film when it got hit so badly. I was a little embarrassed myself. It was not, I didn't think it was a good movie, though I did clean up on it. So I guess that was a good thing. Yeah, and that's the thing about movies. They're a collaboration, and you can be in a situation like that where nobody's wrong, and yet everybody's going off in a different direction, and they tear the thing apart. And that's what I think happened to it.